You're welcome back. This NewsFile is your most authoritative news analysis platform. I'm your host, Samson Ladi Anyanini. And this morning, Mourning J.J Rawlings, founder of the Fourth Republic. And the second part is unpacking the OSP report, part 2. And we're asking a number of questions. Did the OSP do a sloppy job? CSOs and the NDC demand prosecution in the matter. Mahama is government official 1, says the OSP. So what? My guests this morning are starting with the people that you clamored should come back. Bright Simmons, Honorary Executive of Imani Africa. Dr. Yao Graham, Coordinator, Third World Network. And we also have Dr. Abdul Basit Aziz Bamba, who is Senior Lecturer, University of Ghana Law School. Andrew Ejapamesa, he is MP, Secondee, and Vice Chair, Communications Committee of Parliament. Also, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh is the Executive Director of CDD Ghana. He has a perspective requiring and suggesting that every major contract or deal that the country must go into, maybe we must begin to submit it for a corruption risk analysis assessment before we go into the deal in the first place. How is that feasible? Is that another layer bureaucratic that may stop government machinery from operating smoothly? We'll answer all those questions on the show this morning. The Nation is a news or a media house, and it has an article, and in the article it says, among other things, that close associates of Jerry Rawlings claim that he was gifted with a sixth sense and an extra pair of nostrils, both of which have allowed him survive several attempts on his life. He sailed through life on a sea of fire and never seemed in danger of being consumed by it. Now let's listen to a few of these tributes, or as it were, condolences, sympathies that have been shared as he fell.
Tragedy has befallen us as a country and as a family. Some 4 weeks ago, we were here to inform the presidency of the death of our mother, our grandmother, our sister, and the president, because of his special love for the ex-president, the former president, assisted us a lot in the burial of our mother. Just some few weeks or some few days after the burial, the former president, Jerry John Rawlings, fell sick and was hospitalized. A lot of efforts were made. I know the president was in touch with his brother. Little did we know that the former president will leave us. So we've come here formally to inform the president and the entire government that this is what has happened. It is true. Jerry John Rawlings is no more. And we deem it appropriate to come and inform you officially.
On the one hand, he managed to send his mother off first, which was one of his concerns, which he made a point of mentioning in his tribute to his late mother. And as he rightly said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. And we cannot comprehend the reason why, but we do have to understand that this is the reality of our lives. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but the certainty is that death is something we all have to live with at some point. We have to face. Your Excellency, the family has only, things are still up in the air. We are yet to discuss the date of the funeral, and as such, what we can do today is to thank you once again for paying us a visit today and honoring us, and to let you know we will work closely with the Chief of Staff and with State Protocol to ensure that the wishes of both are honored as much as possible, both the family and of the state, to ensure that this goes off without a bit of a problem at all. We go through smoothly and honor the memory of the man he was.
Let me ask all of you to be outstanding in honor of the memory of the late President, first President of the Fourth Republic and former Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency Flight Lieutenant J.J Rawlings, one of your own, who yesterday joined his ancestors. May so, and the souls of all the faithful departed, rest and abide in the bosom of the Almighty until the last day of the resurrection, when we shall all meet again. Amen.
In Ghana's history is assured, and it's a positive one, because he's responsible for ending coups in Ghana, and is responsible for founding the longest period of stable democratic governance in Ghana's history. And so it's our duty as a party to ensure that his place in history is assured and guaranteed, and that we eulogize him for the role he has played in bringing us this far. And so we will start this meeting by taking an update. Happily, Uncle Dan is here, and he's a close family member, and so I'm sure that he will have more information about what the intentions of the family are. And certainly our party will play the role that we're expected to do in order to honor his memory. So welcome once again, all of you. And thank you for coming at such short notice.
You know, my personal habit usually has always been to avoid big men, and so I have managed to avoid President Rawlings in all manner of circumstances.
Really?
Sometimes nearing rudeness by declining to take his calls. But you can trust him. He tracked me down. We had a mutual friend, and then his current aide, Dr. Benu, had special duties to make sure that he waited for me in my office and tracked me and got me to meet President Rawlings. You have to meet him. He was a very intriguing and infectious character, and he commented on everything from my haircut to my tie, my shirt, my cufflinks, my shoes, my socks.
Yes.
And said that he was inspired. That Ghana had a future.
Oh, God.
He is just an infectious and intriguing individual.
No doubt.
And our generation will forever remember him, his leadership, his impact. Love or loathe him,
he was a great leader.
And we greeted each other. So when somebody mentioned this morning, I couldn't believe it. So I was really shocked at the hear of the death of this wonderful person. So I've known him for a long time. I've known him since 1980. When I met him long time ago. And over the years I got to know him because of my work with the lepers and work with the Children's Hospital and work with the needy. And he was always there to support me. Always. Whenever he was always there ready to support me and help me in every way. So I must say I've lost a good friend. Man was a disciplinarian. You know, he had his views. Whether you liked him or not, he had his views and he was a disciplined man, and that's what I liked about him, that he kept his views and he lived his views. So I must say for that I will always remember him. And he was also one who he always encouraged me in my priesthood, always encouraged me in my work with the lepers and with others. After a sermon he'd come and say, "Father, thank you for your wonderful words, thank you." So his compassion, his discipline, this is what I liked about him. He always gave me the encouragement, he always supported me. Always there ready to support me in every way he could. He was there behind, because it wasn't easy. You look, working with these people are forgotten. He was always there to support me and don't give up, carry on.
Right. So you have been listening to a number of statesmen paying their last respects, so to speak, to J.J Rawlings. The Nation, the report which I'm referring to, in celebrating him, says among other things that former Flight Lieutenant J.J Rawlings, who staged 2 successful military coups in Ghana, ruled as a strongman from December 1981 to 1992, and then bent to the winds of democratic change, and was twice democratically elected president of the West African nation. He stepped down after 2 terms in 2001. It would be difficult to find a more down-to-earth former African head of state than Rawlings. Controversial and colorful, Rawlings was an inconsistent character. Right, so let me get to the studio now and pick the thoughts of my guests, just a minute or 2 each from all of them. Yes, Bright.
Obviously, it's our culture that when a person has departed us, we need to, in the first instance, commiserate with the people that were meant the most to him while he lived. So I certainly express my deepest condolences to Zanito, Yasantua, Amina, and Kimati, and obviously the spouse that he left behind, First Lady, Her Excellency Nana Agyeman Konadu Rawlings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as I get Dr. Yao Graham to also say a word, I need to place on record that there are some other, some other statesmen that we had wanted to share, their thoughts with us. But for some reasons, we will keep it on a low key and just sharing, as it were, tributes for this morning. Dr. Yao Graham.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just extend my condolences to Mrs. Konadu Agyeman Rawlings and the immediate family and the extended family and those who were close to J.J Rawlings.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Yao Graham. So we are in a time where even those persons, families, who, got on the wrong side, so to speak, or, suffered what you may call the excesses of the time under his regime, are even finding time to say something nice about him. Let's go to the phone lines and very briefly, take the words of Mona Korte, who is a former Deputy Minister of Finance, and also Betty Mold-Idrisu, who also played various roles in the Atta Mills and John Mahama regimes, Education Minister, Attorney General. Right, so let's talk to Mona Korte. Good morning, thanks for joining us, Madam Mona Korte. Mona Korte.
Good morning, Samson.
Right.
Yes, indeed, we have lost a great officer, gentleman, past president, Flight Lieutenant J.J Rawlings. I first heard of him in June 1979 when I was in Achimota School. It was about a dawn broadcast, and we were very scared in school. Later, we found out there had been a coup d'etat, and it was by a young Air Force officer who had taken over the leadership of our beloved country. Fast forward, over a number of decades, more changes occurred in our governance system, and His Excellency President Rawlings became the first democratically elected president in our Fourth Republic. It was not until 1996, when I was working with Ashanti Goldfields Company as treasurer, that I met him on a formal basis. By this time, of course, my mother and the First Lady had been working closely to highlight the strengths of our Ghanaian women and to bring the women into the mainstream of our economy and even the governance system. Subsequently, the late president and I interacted on more formal basis every now and then, either in Obuasi or in Accra at head office, until one day, not too long ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, when he told me that when he was in Achimota School, my mother and her older sister, who were seniors to him, he admired them very much. And then I informed him that my mother's elder sister had passed. He then invited us for breakfast at his home in Vume, together with his daughter, Zaneto Jatabi. And indeed, we saw the compassionate side of him. Our deepest condolences go to the family. We have lost a father, a president, an officer, a gentleman. Our condolences to the family. And we pray that soon a young leader will rise again to make even better our nation. Thank you, Samson, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Madam Mona Korte, former Deputy Minister of Finance. Let's speak to Betty Mold-Idrisu, former Education Minister, former Attorney General. Thank you very much for joining us, Madam Betty Mold-Idrisu. Do we have Madam Betty Mold-Idrisu on? Okay, we don't have her, so we will just proceed to our programming, and we are going to do part 2 of unpacking the OSP report. We're asking a number of questions. Did the OSP do a sloppy job? CSOs and the NDC are demanding investigations and prosecution. The NDC is clear about that. It says investigations and prosecution. CSOs say there must be prosecution. And NDC wants a retrieval of what it says millions or billions of Ghana cedis that have been spent in an unlawful way. The OSP says President Mahama is government official 1. Today we ask, and so what? You know, he has sent a reply to President Mahama, who called his bluff and said he had done some rather, if you like, quote unquote, stupid stuff. Madam Betty Mold-Idrisu, thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning again, Samson. I'm delighted to join your show on this very sad day. And to share a few thoughts about a very charismatic leader. I don't think that in Africa you would have found more charismatic a leader as the founder of our party. I knew him personally in 1965 when I entered Form 1 in Achimota School. I think he was already in Form 5. And immediately you would ask, who is that? You know, he stood out even at that time in his cadet corps uniform and his dark glasses. And I found him over the years to be a leader, disciplinarian, and I thank God for his life because he turned around the destiny of Ghana. He put Ghana back on the track and has made us the envy of Africa. I think I can safely say that he's responsible for the reinstitution of our democracy and constitutionalism in the country. And I just wish that he had lived longer in order to see some of the ideals he himself espoused coming into maybe coming more into the limelight. I think that what I remember most about him was his passion for gender. He supported me and encouraged me immensely as a woman, and he also opened my eyes to the fact that it's not all about us who are lawyers and judges and doctors. No, most of the time you go anywhere with His Excellency J.J Rawlings, and he's there talking to the waiters, the drivers, the masses. He lived the ideals he espoused, and in leadership, it's an extremely difficult, extremely complex process. But I think he managed to live true to himself until this was untimely death. May God grant him peace, and may God also grant the nation of Ghana and its leaders the wisdom to carry us through this very difficult period. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Betty Mould Idrisu. It would be difficult to find a more down-to-earth former African head of state than Rawlings. Controversial and colorful, Rawlings was an inconsistent character. He was asked a question and he said, quote, "I have always wanted to be equal with everyone." Ask another question about what he would like or how he would like to be remembered, what he would like to be remembered for. He said, quote, "My legacy to the people of Ghana, and that I never let God do anything for me. I did it first," unquote.